taxpayer, Ron?
Well, as a CPA, all I can say is that's what they're proposing. That's the rule. The IRS has a mountain of lawyers who I'm sure have determined whether they have the legal authority to do it. I will say, in my opinion, one can ask, does that amount, does the penalty fit the crime? If I made $300,000, why should I owe $2.3 million? Is that confiscatory, which means you're not really taxing me anymore, you're just taking my money? Let me just say that part of the theory of the IRS is that, well, we're only getting you for 6 years. Perhaps you've been doing this for 15 years. We're going to let those back years fall off the table, collect nothing. So in the terms of what we like to call rough justice, we'll get $2.3 million out of you for these 6 years, and that's their theory of why it sort of makes sense. What can we do about it? All we can do is respond to it. That's what they've said the game will be. Those are the rules of engagement. So for a taxpayer, again, he has to seek out legal counsel, crunch the numbers with his legal counsel or his CPA, and try to determine where do I stand and what do I do, because this is going to move very quickly after September 23rd from something that's an inconvenient kind of a legal situation that maybe I can deal with it, maybe I can't. And again, our clients, we always have them always file and pay on time. But if you're in this situation, this is going to mean move from something that is a bit inconvenient to something that truly, financially, can ruin your life, because it's not just taking a large sum of money. Let's say you and I are in the fortunate situation to have $2.3 million. Well, if you get arrested, imagine what that would do to you, your family, your business, and so on. Just to follow on, let me point out that if you file a joint tax return with your wife or your husband, your spouse of either side, both spouses, when signing a tax return, are what's called jointly and severally liable for any liability. So the husband, let's use the husband in this example, has an offshore account. The wife doesn't even know about it. It's been in Switzerland for 15 years. I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it. You don't even need to know about it. She signs the joint tax return. The IRS can go after the husband or the wife or both, wherever they can find the money. And if they determine and do their work and say there's been a criminal violation here, they can put the husband, the wife, or both in jail for this violation. So again, when you're thinking through this, if you're in this situation, think about your spouse, because before September 23rd, if you miss this window for the voluntary disclosure, I know a lot of guys like myself, well, you know, I'll take care of it. It won't affect my wife. Well, yes, it does if she filed that joint return.
I thought the IRS had something in place where the spouse had no knowledge and they could file with the IRS.
Yeah, you're thinking of the innocent spouse relief, and you're absolutely right. There's a procedure where you apply to the IRS and say, we're in trouble, but my wife signed, let's use the wife. It could go either way, right? My wife signed the return. She was completely ignorant about the company, the family's tax situation. So come after me, the husband, leave her alone. In fact, in a lot of the cases, the husband and wife's gotten divorced, sometimes over the tax controversy, right? And the wife says, go after him, not me. That's true, but does the wife even know, does the wife know the account exists? Does the wife know that, has been seeing the bank statements? Is the wife truly ignorant of the situation? And even if you do qualify, I mean, this is a process. You have to fill out forms and go and talk in front of IRS officials and convince them that you truly were ignorant of the situation. Then you may get this innocent spouse relief. Since we have to determine what we're going to do by September 23rd and try to do that before we've even talked to the IRS, I'd certainly encourage everybody not to rely on innocent spouse relief, to assume your wife's not going to get pulled into it, or your husband, if you have the situation. And where, again, where the wife knew about the account, or she owned it through a trust or an estate or some kind of partnership, don't even hope that innocent spouse relief will prevail.
Can a taxpayer deal with this on his own?
Yes, but I highly, highly don't recommend it. When you read the IRS frequently asked questions on this subject, You go through it and you say, well, I sort of understand that and that makes sense. And it says call this phone number, which is your local criminal investigation division for the Internal Revenue Service. Now, let me put that in perspective. I've been doing taxes for 28 years. I've never had the occasion to sit in front of or be on the telephone with someone from the Criminal Investigation Division. Those are folks who wear badges and carry guns. The part of the IRS who processes returns are a different division. The part of the IRS who does audits is a completely different division. The collection division, who goes after and tries to collect the money, is a different division. The Criminal Investigation Division is set up to prosecute people. So to pick up the phone call, to pick up the telephone at the beginning of this and call someone who is basically something like on Law and Order, where he's a prosecutor and his job is develop prosecutions, is very scary to me and my peers. And so again, this is where you not only need an attorney, not only a tax attorney, but a criminal tax attorney before you make that phone call to that number. So yes, you can try to do that yourself, but you will quickly self-incriminate yourself, excuse the self, and let me go on to say there's a couple of, one of the things that has been mentioned to me by a number of tax people is part of the agenda is to not just go after the taxpayer, but to get the taxpayer's advisor who set them up in the account. So again, it's going to be like an episode of Law and Order. You'll be at the table and they say, if you want to save yourself from jail, who put you in this account? What's their name and phone number? Now, you're not even dealing with yourself, with your spouse, but you're about to ruin the career of your advisor and have a good deal of his financial assets taken by the IRS. So this is serious stuff, and I keep repeating it because it's so important. You have till September 23rd to evaluate this voluntary disclosure, or it can be very dire.
Where can people get more information about this, Ron?
Right, well, on our website, www.groco.com, that's GROCO.com, www.groco.com. I've written extensively on it, and I also have the links to the IRS discussions and frequently asked questions where they go into great detail. You can also go to irs.gov, that's www.irs.gov, where they will also give you a full discussion. And so there's the frequently asked questions is about 12 pages, and I would recommend anybody in this situation to read all 12 of them and then come back to our website and read all my comments, because I think it will give you a good playing field of what serious game you're playing here, and hopefully you can find the best option for you with the limited options you're being given in a limited period of time.